We'll continue our discussion of Microsoft Intune, and in particular, we're going to set up iPhone enrollment. And then in the next nugget, we'll actually enroll that phone. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so here we return to the Microsoft Intune Management portal at manage.microsoft.com. Here we are down under Admin and Mobile Device Management, where Microsoft gives us the next step that we need to do after having configured our policies and associated groups with them, which we did in our last nugget. Here we're taking a look at Mobile Device Management Authority. It's already set to Microsoft Intune, but you can change that. By the way, I mentioned in our last nugget, or maybe it was 2 nuggets ago, that if you had Office 365 set up there, and if it give you that message, and if you don't want Office 365, you want to go directly to Intune or System Center Configuration Manager, you have to call Microsoft Support and have them switch it for you. Could take up to 5 days. But anyway, here we are. And if we scroll down, we see we have a couple of different platforms, actually a few. There's Windows right here, which is already ready for enrollment. That would include desktop Windows, actually. And we don't really have to do anything else there, except if you wanted to configure additional features such as line of business apps, something like that, you certainly could do that by clicking on that link. Similarly, with Windows Phone 8.0, no company portal app has been uploaded, so you'd have to actually upload a company portal app. Then your users would get that app, and then they could configure and perform their enrollment using that app. You would enable that using the Windows 8 platform. For 8.1, it's already ready. You don't have to do anything else unless you have a line of business app. In that case, you'd need to configure additional features. Let me just click on that, by the way, and you can see here what you would have to do is to set up DNS. And if you want to click this link here about setting DNS server for enrollment, you'll see that there's a couple of CNAME records. Actually, I'll just click it. There's a couple of CNAME records here for enterprise enrollment, and you'll see both of these. Let me just go down here to the CNAMEs. Enterprise enrollment dot whatever the name of your company is .com, so to speak. You just fill in your own domain there, and that's going to point to manage.microsoft.com. Enterprise registration dot whatever your company is will take you to enterprise registration.windows.net. I don't know why they couldn't just make that enterprise registration.microsoft.com like it is up here, but anyway, what that does is it tells you right here it supports a redirect to the Intune service, and this one will support a workplace join for mobile devices. Okay, so that just gives you an idea of the kind of thing you'll need to do there to set up Windows mobile devices. And then you can also obtain an enterprise ID and code signing certificate. Now, this is kind of something to really be aware of. Again, you don't have to do that for 8.1 unless you have side-loaded apps. Okay, that's what we're talking about right down here. You do have to do it for Windows 8. I don't know if anybody has a Windows 8 phone. If you do, just upgrade, for crying out loud. Okay, nobody used Windows 8 anyway. I've actually never even seen anybody with a Windows 8 phone. But anyway, hopefully Windows 8.1 and maybe Windows 10 is better. So anyway, you have to get that certificate from Symantec. It does have to be purchased. I don't know what the expense is, but you do have to buy it. Hence, I will not be demonstrating that one. It's actually pretty simple anyway, and all the instructions are exactly where you see them right here. But I do want to go back up here to the mobile device management, and as I scroll down here, getting past the Windows topics, we're going to take a look at a couple of other things here, right here. Okay, there's Windows Android, where you can configure additional features as well, and that just is going to specify your management for those devices and how they are enrolled. And then Microsoft Exchange, we already discussed a little bit in our last nugget. Now, iOS is what we're going to demonstrate here. I don't know why that scrolled up. Let me go back down again here. iOS is what we're going to work with here, so I'll click to enable the iOS platform. I'm going to work with my own my iPhone 6s. Boy, Steve Jobs would turn in his grave if he heard me say Windows iPhone, wouldn't he? Okay, so here what we're going to do, though, is to download the APN certificate request. That stands for, by the way, an Apple Push Notification Service. And what it's going to do is it's going to work in conjunction with the Apple Push Certificates portal, where we're going to upload it. And then Apple is going to then send us a certificate to use down in this last step. So first thing we do is to download the APN certificate request. This is a request that we send to Apple saying, I want a certificate. So we're going to say this, Apple cert request. Okay, we'll just do it that way. It's going to be a CSR file. We save that, done. Next thing we do is to go to Apple Push Certificates portal, where it'll ask you to log in. Now, you got to be careful of this. You'll log in with an Apple ID, and it must be an Apple ID that's associated with the company, and it will stay there even if any users in your organization's IT department leave. So don't use somebody's personal Apple ID, okay? Just probably want to create one for the company. Now, I've already logged in here, and what I need to do now is to create a certificate. You see, I've done other things here in the past. In fact, for my Configuration Manager series, I've already done this whole process that I'm showing you right here. I still have a certificate there that's good, but I'm going to create a new one so you can see how we would do that. Of course, you've got to read through the entire license agreement, which I'm sure you're going to do right there. And then what we'll do is, I got to scroll down, I guess. We'll accept it. Okay, so we'll accept. And then what they want is the vendor signed certificate signing request. That's the file that we just downloaded from Intune. So I'm going to browse for that file, the Apple certificate request, and open that. And then now I upload it to Apple. And then once they receive that, we'll be able to continue on. Here, what we're going to do with this is, actually it created it for us, didn't it? This is actually a problem. Okay, I wanted to make you aware of this. It's kind of good that we stumbled onto this issue. Notice that it wants to open or save a JSON file. That's indicative of a problem for me because, strangely enough, Apple doesn't seem to like Internet Explorer. Imagine. And if it tries to download it as a JSON file, I can't use it. So I'm going to kick out of this whole process here and come back in using a different browser. I knew about this problem with Internet Explorer 10. I was hoping that with IE 11, Microsoft would have cooperated with Apple a little bit better, but apparently not. They don't seem to get along very well, do they? So I'll come back in here in a minute. All right, I just decided to refresh the browser and see what would happen here. It does show up. This certificate does appear. So let me just download this, try it one more time. And okay, this is good news. Okay, so it's not a JSON now. It's a .pem. I don't know what refreshing the browser did to fix that, but we'll just take it. I'm not going to complain any. And if I open the folder, we'll see that there indeed is our mobile device management certificate. So there we're good, and now we're going to go ahead and I'll close this up and we'll go back over to Intune, and now what we can do is to upload the APN certificate. So I'm going to browse for the one that I just downloaded, and I think it's in my downloads, and there it is, and open, and then we'll enter in the Apple ID, and then once I do that, I'm going to click on Upload, and we'll continue. Now that the certificate has been downloaded here, and I block out my email address is what that blue line is, but now that we've downloaded it, it's able to authenticate properly for any of the Apple devices that we want to enroll. In this nugget, we took a look at Intune and specifically how to set up iPhone enrollment with the certificates. Stick around for our next nugget where we'll actually enroll an iPhone device. I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.